What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Tricky Jim at Full Grip Games. I'm finally back from vacation, got to spend some time at the beach with my family and my lovely fiance Natalie, and I had an amazing time. But I'm really stoked to be back and digging into the new Chilling Reign format on the Pokemon trading card game online. In this video, I'm going to be showing off my favorite way to play the new Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX featuring Alcremie VMAX. I'm stoked to show off the list, but before we do, let's head on over to fullgripcodes.com. If you're looking to get all the best cards in your Pokemon trading card game online account, look no further than fullgripcodes.com. Fullgripcodes.com has got all the best Pokemon trading card game online codes available for instant email delivery, including brand new codes from Chilling Reign. And of course, supporting the shop at fullgripcodes.com directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. Now let's check out that Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX list. Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX may be the strongest Pokemon card ever printed, and I don't say that lightly. It's got a massive 320 hit points, and its Underworld Door ability accelerates energy and draws cards. It reads, once during your turn, you may attach a Psychic Energy card from your hand to one of your bench Psychic Pokemon. If you attached an energy to a Pokemon in this way, draw 2 cards. This pairs perfectly with its Max Geist attack. For 3 colorless energy, it does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each Psychic Energy attached to all of your Pokemon. So if you have 10 Psychic Energy in play, you could do 310 damage, 11 Psychic Energy, and you're knocking out even Eternatus VMAX in one hit with a 340 damage attack. And with Underworld Door, it's possible to attach up to 5 additional Psychic Energy from your hand to your Pokemon during your turn, since you can use Underworld Door for each of your Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX in play. Now obviously, Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX is a great attacker in its own right, but it also pairs well with other Psychic Pokemon like Trevenant and Dusknoir Tag Team GX, Mewtwo and Mew Tag Team GX, and my favorite, Alcremie VMAX. Alcremie VMAX is a Pokemon VMAX with 310 hit points and the powerful G-Max Whisk attack for 2 Psychic Energy. It allows you to discard any amount of energy from your Pokemon. This attack does 60 damage for each card you discarded in this way. Now, with Underworld Door, it's possible to accelerate up to 5 Psychic Energy from your hand to your board during a turn. And with G-Max Whisk, you could do 300 damage with 5 Psychic Energy in play. If you have 6 Psychic Energy in play, you could do 360 damage, easily one-hit KOing any Pokemon in the Pokemon TCG. Alcremie VMAX is also fantastic for its Adornment attack for just 1 colorless energy. It reads, for each of your bench Pokemon, you search your deck for a Psychic Energy card and attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So if you're not quite set up, Adornment is a great way to get your board filled with Psychic Energy to launch powerful attacks. Now, my favorite addition to this deck is Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX. This is a great way to start off any game. This deck usually gets up and rolling by about turn 3. With Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX, you could buy yourself an extra turn to get set up. You can Horror House GX as early as the first turn of the game, going second, which makes it so your opponent can't play any cards from their hand. So after an early Horror House GX, you can evolve into Alcremie VMAX and Adornment, getting your board completely set up to one-hit KO anything your opponent might throw your way. And this might all happen before they can even play a supporter card, since if your opponent went first, you could use Horror House GX on your first turn, then your opponent can't play any cards. So that's 2 turns in a row that they couldn't play a supporter card from their hand. So Gengar and Mimikyu Tag Team GX really helps with the momentum of this deck. It's also great against Ashian V decks. After they use Intrepid Sword, you can go in with Horror House GX and get them stuck there, and then Poltergeist for some really big numbers. Now, this deck is geared to be as consistent as possible. As you can see, we've got 4 copies of Professor's Research, which is great for digging through your deck, finding those Psychic Energy to accelerate onto Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, as well as 2 copies of Marnie. But what I really like about this deck is that it can really take advantage of Sonia. Since this deck likes going second, a turn 1 Sonia can get you 2 basic Pokemon from your deck. A lot of times you're just going to be grabbing 2 Shadow Rider Calyrex V, but later in the game, Sonia can also get you 2 basic energy cards from your deck to your hand, which then you can accelerate into play with Underworld Door. We play a lot of item-based search in this deck as well. 4 copies of Quick Ball, 4 copies of the new Fog Crystal from Chilling Reign, which gets you a Psychic Energy card or a basic Psychic Pokemon to your hand, which is great, obviously. for getting energy to accelerate with Underworld Door, and also for getting your Alcremie V or your Gengar Mimikyu or your Marshadow, which I haven't talked about yet. A lot of decks are playing Path to the Peak, a new stadium card from Chilling Reign, which completely shuts down all of our Pokemon V's abilities. This is a problem. So 2 copies of Marshadow with the Resetting Hole ability helps to remove those Path to the Peak stadiums so that you can continue using Underworld Door with ease. And since that Marshadow is searchable with Fog Crystal, we can easily get that Marshadow out when we need it. And then 4 copies of Evolution Incense. It's basically a draw card, since if you have a Psychic Energy in your hand, you can go get yourself a Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX and then draw 2 cards. So the search cards are incredibly valuable in this deck and really help you to set up explosively and get a ton of energy into play early on. We also play 1 copy of Chaotic Swell just to help keep those Path to the Peak at bay. 1 copy of Energy Recycler, which puts 5 basic energy cards from our discard pile back into the deck, which is great since Alcremie VMAX does discard a lot of energy with its G-Max Whisk Attack. And then we've got 3 copies of Switch and 1 copy of Air Balloon. Air Balloon helps everybody to retreat for free except for Alcremie VMAX, which is why it's important that we still run 3 copies of Switch. This deck is a ton of fun to play and downright explosive. Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX, like I said earlier, might just be the most powerful Pokemon card ever printed in the history of the game. Let me know what you think of Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX featuring Alcremie VMAX in the comments below. I do think that the Gengar Mimikyu just gives us some options. I like the Gengar Mimikyu because this deck can sometimes be a turn 3 deck, right? A lot of turns have been running Charm to get around Zapdos. That makes sense, right? And then, so like, then we have to start playing Tool Scrapper if we're playing Zapdos. It's just like the meta keeps going, you know? The wheels keep on turning. I do think that the Gengar Mimikyu is going to give us a lot of options because this deck can be a turn 3 deck. And since it can be a turn 3 deck, we really want to be able to, you know, Horror House and buy ourselves an extra turn, which I think will be very good. Now, in this next hand, I really don't want to research away 2 Shadow Riders. So instead, I'll probably just Sonia. And then go in with Alcremie, hopefully the following turn with a bunch of energy in play, and knock out this Eternatus V. That's kind of like what I'm thinking. Potentially. We'll kind of see how it goes. I would obviously love to Horror House for 2 energy. So if we... Thanks, Wicked, for the Prime sub. There we got the Galarian Moltres V. Beautiful alt arts. Let's go, baby. Is this not a secret rare? 177 out of 198? Is this not a secret rare card? What's up with that? That's got to be a mistake, right? Is this not a secret rare? Wait. Alt arts aren't secret rares? Oh, what? I thought they were. The alt arts are not secret. Oh. Well, now. That is interesting, huh? Okay. So... I think I'm going to Sonia. I prize my Crobat. Okay, that's fine. For these guys. And we get another one. And I've got all 4 Shadow Rider in the deck. Got 2 Alcremie VMAX. That's fine. Okay. So grab these guys. Put them all down. Horror House GX. We buy ourselves that turn, right? Which is good. They can't do anything. And then Here we go. 3 Shadow Rider Calyrex, VMAX, and a big research. Okay. Looking for a few more Psychic Energy. That'd be good. If I could get a few more of them Psychic Energy, I would like that. So we're gonna thin, see if we can't find a few more of those Psychic Energies. 10 in the deck, 3 Fog Crystals. Okay. We're gonna need to find some things off of this. That's for sure. We're not drawing fantastic right now. Okay. We can go again. Underworld Door one more time. Okay. Now I just need to find the Alcremie VMAX. So we'll go here. Grab this. I need to find Alcremie VMAX or an Evolution Incense. Thank you, CFS, for the 9 months. Appreciate you, Charles. Thanks. Okay. Underworld Door. Yeah. Degenerates with the Prime sub, and here we are. Appreciate you, Degenerate. And then I think I have to I could put this down, and frankly, I could just not take the knockout, right? Or I guess I just do take the knockout and then just go. I could not take the knockout though, right? I mean, I can obviously whisk for 2. I mean, I have 300 if I want to. Or I could adornment, right? And then they have to find a switch. So the question is, are we going to adornment or are we going to G-Max whisk? If we take the knockout with G-Max whisk, I can save the energy on the active, and then I can get. But the thing is, if I just adornment, I probably win. So I think I'm going to adornment. I think adornment is like the win play. I think. Right? Because then we force them to have a lot. Like, they probably don't have VMAX switch energy boss, right? They probably don't. And they probably don't have knockout, right? On the Alcremie VMAX. Probably not. Now, I get absurdly punished if they have knockout. Definitely. But you know, they also have to have the switch. So I think forcing them to have a switch, like, is one more piece of the combo that I force them to have. It's more likely that they, I mean, because they need 3 more Galarian Zigzagoons, which means they can have none prized. And they also have to have access to them. Or they have to go switch dark boss out of that hand right there. Which I don't think that they have either. And then if they do have that, then they have to have energy switch dark boss again the following. You know what I mean? Okay, now that is annoying. I ain't gonna play with you. All right, that's frustrating. Now I do have Marshadows in the deck, but it's not really what I'm trying to do. Okay. You telling me I'm going to have to knock out the Spiritomb for like 0 energy now? My goodness, come on now. For 0 prizes. Oh, this is pain. Okay. Oh, my goodness. What is even... I got Marnie out of the boss. Huh. Yeah, the random black market Prism Star, I think, is going to just lose me this game. Probably. Because then all they have to do is retreat. I guess I can Sonia for these final 2 energy, right? Okay. We Underworld Door. Okay. 12 cards left in deck. I've got 3 bosses orders. Okay. Okay, we'll grab that guy. I know, but taking the knockout for no prizes is just so bad, right? Okay. Yeah, black market came out of left field. We're not prepared for that. My previous list did have some swells in them, but we replaced them from Marshadows out of fear of Path to the Peak. But I guess we do load our bench very easily, so there is that. All right, we're going to switch in GMAX Whisk for just 1. And we take no prizes. Sad. Out of left field is... We actually got an out of left field in the chat. Yeah, what's up, out of left field? How we doing? Now, a third of my deck is boss's orders now. A third. 1 out of 3, basically. All right, that's a little bit bad math. Okay, 3 out of 10. 3 out of 10 cards in my deck are boss's orders. Assuming that they... you know, maybe don't put Eternatus up. Now, they might put Eternatus up. If they have boss this turn, then I'm in some trouble. For surely. Because they could bring up, you know, any of these dudes here and have a pretty good time with it. So I doubt that they're going to just feed me an Eternatus out of nowhere, right? Probably not. Also, I'm in a bad spot because if I knock out Eternatus VMAX, I take 2 prizes for it. That's not good. Okay. Yeah, I would call that bad, actually. The 1 black market Prism Star is going to ruin me. Absolutely ruin me. Yeah, I would call that, I'd call that suboptimal. Yeah. Am I gonna get derailed here? Yeah, of course I am. All right, boss's orders off the top. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. All right, here we go. Yep, bring them out, bro. And you've got no 1 Eternatus V on the bench? Okay, that's fine. And then we're gonna give him the old GMAX Whisk. I'm gonna discard 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See ya. All right, so we'll take that. I told you, 3 out of 10 cards were boss's orders, dude. 3 out of 10. That's almost 1/3. Do I run energy recovery? Yeah, I got a old energy recycler in there. I'm gonna need to find that. That's for sure. Hopefully my opponent doesn't have the energy switch energy. Yeah, I'm gonna need to find that Energy Recycler, that's for sure. Cool, maybe I'll find it off this Marnie. That'd be sick. Nope. Nope. That's cool though. I'm just gonna boss and knock out something for 2 prizes. Yeah, we might find it off the top deck. That's true. I don't want to reorder my deck because we know it's in the next couple cards. All right, so they're not taking it. I don't want to count my chickens, but they do have 2 energy switch in the discard pile, and there's no way they play 4, right? That'd be absurd. And that's their last Crobat. No more Crobat for you. That's it. Actually, I get 2 prizes if I boss this one. So that's the one I plan on, or this guy. Yeah, it only works on Pokemon that have dark energy, so yeah. So I'm gonna do that so that I can actually take some prize cards. And then after this game, we are giving away 25 more codes of Chilling Rain. Uh-oh. They didn't have the knockout. They didn't have the Pokemon they needed for knockout. Brilliant. Okay. So then we go boss this dude and give him the old G-Max Whisk for 1, 2, 3. Skirt. Take my 2 prizes. And then now I'm going to need to find some energy recovery, that's for sure. So maybe my next card, maybe the next card will be the Energy Recycler. That'd be sweet, because I got Fog Crystal in my hand. I would like that. And I've got Sonia, so I would just be able to, and I've got 3 Shadow Rider in play. So we'd be able to juice up the whole board. If my next card is Energy Recycler, we're in there. And if they bring up Eternatus VMAX, I'm still taking 2 prizes. Which, you know what? That's enough. That is enough. Okay, here's Eternatus VMAX. Take the knockout, Dread End. No! They're out of Pokemon. There's the Energy Recycler. 5 energy back into the deck. I've got 2 switch in the discard pile. Let's go. And they scoop. Easy dubskis. And Fog Crystal. Not the most insane start in the world, but okay. We'll take it. We can Sonia for a Crobat. Marnie's pretty good too. I feel like, yeah, with the top deck Marnie, and they can't get a Trevnor next turn, so I think we're fine to go Sonia. And just get Alcremie, Shadow Rider. Slap these guys down. Fog Crystal for another one. And pass. And then we've got a pretty nice turn lined up for next turn. I think the heavy Marnies, you know, in this hand disruption deck are brutal to play around. That's for sure. You're constantly getting your hand set to 4 cards, and then with Trevnor, you're constantly getting cards removed from the hand. We do have a nice pull here off of our 4. Thank you, Pokey Bruh, for the 11 months. Appreciate it. Yeah, we definitely like what we see here. And then we have to think, like, okay, we always have to watch out. I mean, the thing is, Trevenant and Dusknoir and Gengar and Mimikyu are such powerful basic Pokemon, right? They can always just get slapped down at a moment's notice, and then are just changing the tides of the game, right? So like, if my opponent gets a Gengar Mimikyu and Horror Houses, then I'm just like passing, right? Which feels bad. And then next turn, I could have my hand limited to, right, to 4 cards, to 0 cards with no abilities, right? So that's like the whole idea of this deck, is that you can go, you know, Horror House into, you can go Horror House, you know, into Trevenant very easily. Thank you so much, Solaris, for the Prime sub in the 7 months. But yeah, I think if I continuously find myself losing to this version of the deck, then I'll just switch versions, just straight up. We'll just be fine with that. Okay. Okay, we can grab the Marshadow. Annoying that we have to do that, but, you know, part of the deal. It's the reason we run it. And then start accelerating some energy, drawing some cards. Okay. Feels like time is probably of the essence. You know, we might as well Crobat now while we can. Try to just set up as much as possible. Yeah, think so. Okay, I've got that. We'll switch, and then probably just research, which feels good. And then I think I've got knockout, maybe? No, we're very close. We don't quite have it. So I think I just Adornment and thin the deck as much as I can. I could get, yeah, that's fine. I could get like Pale Moon or something. Energy Recycler's in the deck, okay. Which would be annoying. But we'll do that. And then see, you know, what's up this next turn. Now, I've kind of committed at this point to just not really having my Underworld door, right? I got rid of both Marshadow. I do have one Chaotic Swell on the deck. So I have one more turn where I can kick the stadium and then go from there. Their possible plays, like, they can't really stamp me because it doesn't really do anything. They could go and Horror House. If they do that, I take 3 prizes. They did research this turn. They could Poltergeist, but that won't take a knockout. They could Trevnor and remove 2 cards from my hand, but I've got a lot of good ones. And then the Trevnor pretty much gets knocked out. They could Pale Moon GX, and if they do that, then I get to keep my hand, and I have switch Alcremie VMAX, and we'll just take the knockout. So I'm in a pretty good spot, regardless of where things are at. And after this game, we'll draw our winner of 25 more Chilling Rain codes. Yeah, we've got 25 more codes on the way. Very stoked about that. We'll draw our next winner after this. Thank you guys all for hanging out with me today and for the warm welcome back to streaming. It has been an awesome day. We've had a lot of fun so far. I am just loving playing Shadow Rider. I think that definitely feels like my new favorite deck. So we just got a Max Geist. Feels good to just take the knockout right on the active. Take our 3 prizes. Now the thing is, I'm like out of, I have 1 energy in the discard pile. That's fine. So we G-Max Whisk. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's fine. 2 boss in my hand. I have a boss left in the deck. Like, these cards are all pretty good. I don't think that there's anything that I really want to boss. Let's see. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. Oh, I just switched boss. Yeah. This is the play. This is the play. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 300. Yeah, boss of this guy. Max Geist. So we do that. And then we'll take our 3 prizes. Oh. Nice. Thank you, Natalie. New parade figure just dropped. Gonna need that. So I think taking the knockout with Shadow Rider without discarding the energy, very good. Now I'm just in a position where, you know, I can just Alcremie VMAX for game very easily. And yeah. Cool. So we take game 2. We're going to be moving on to game 3. Game 5 is the second best of 5 we played today. We did a best of 5 Trevenant Dustnor Calyrex versus Cakes Calyrex. We won 3-2. It was very close. Now we've got Urshifu versus Cakes. Urshifu Inteleon versus Cakes. We've got a nice little start here. That's fine. It's a good opening hand. Certainly don't mind this. And they open their Shadow Box Mimikyu. Level Ball. Sonia is just the queen here, as you can see, right? Sonia, opening Sonia is very good. We love to do it. I mean, it's perfect, right? Because this is like the perfect combination of cards in your opening hand. You're like, what more do I possibly want? Sonia for some dudes. Fog Crystal for another dude. All right, no energy down turn 1. Very good. And we've got Marnie next turn. Great. So, Sonia will go get us some cards to kick things off. I could go straight for I could go straight for Gengar Mimikyu, right? And then they have no energy attachment again, which, like, I don't hate. I guess I don't love it either. Because it's a liability, obviously. Alternatively, I get a Shadow Rider, attach an energy to Cake, go turn 2 Cake. Yeah. Get these guys. Okay, that gives me a little bit more time to think about it as well. Because I can get the Fog Crystal. I don't want to give my opponent a free knockout on Marshadow because their win gets a little bit easier if I do that, but it's also fine because then they're not setting up a play on one of my other dudes. So I don't think that I actually need an energy drop turn 1. Right, it doesn't matter because if we get enough Shadow Riders into play, then none of that really matters. So the real play is to just get all these Shadow Riders down and then pop off turn 2. So we'll do that. So yeah, we slap all the dudes down turn 1, and then it doesn't matter if we get the energy drop, because if I sacrifice a Shadow Rider for an energy drop, I mean, like, if I set up the Shadow Rider VMAX, that's just +1 energy drop next turn, so it doesn't really matter. We're fine, you know, sacrificing the energy drop. Plus, my best play next turn is probably going to be to Adornment. Probably. So we're imagining that Marshadow gets knocked out, single energy VMAX comes into the active. I put up Alcremie, that's why I got rid of the switch. I put up Alcremie, I attach the energy, well, I Marnie, you know, evolve, Marnie, find the energy, Adornment, right? Then they, like, are okay. I have to, even though they knock out Marshadow, they still will have to knock out 2 VMAXs in order to win. That's why I slapped down all 3 of these Shadow Rider Vs as quickly as possible so that I could try to evolve them up. So then we're not really behind, even if we lose this Marshadow. Now, if they don't knock out the Marshadow, we're in a awkward situation because I got rid of the switch, but it's fine because I didn't lose the Marshadow. So we're still chilling. We'll evolve this, and it could just give me more time, which is totally fine. We, like, don't mind if the Marshadow gets knocked out, right? So just start loading up some dudes. We got the research. The research is going to be the play. And we'll go get Shadow Rider V. Now, if I can pull off the Adornment, which I should be able to do because I'm just hard retreat. Yeah. Chaotic Swell. It's really tempting to, yeah, we're just going to bench this, hard retreat, sack that, Adornment, and just get loaded up, which should put us in a position where we don't really lose, I think, right? Because at this point, if one of these Urshifu comes into the active position, it's kind of going down. We're gonna have 2 cakes set up. Research again. We'll only have 1 boss in the discard pile. All right, there goes Shady Dealings in Teleon. And get them 2 trainer cards. They're probably going to want to get, I imagine, the Octillery into play. And the Octillery can get the Urshifu. Yeah. And then the U-turn board can get them a retreat. So that's what they want. Now it is a little bit awkward because like, I'm wondering, do they go in with the VMAX this turn? Or do they go in with, you know, or are they going to try the regular V strategy again? If they go in with a regular V strategy again, then I don't need to discard very many energy. I actually could take the knockout potentially with Shadow Rider VMAX if I can find one of my switches. So they do only have to knock out 2 VMAX in order to win. So that's like their, yeah, it looks like they may just attack with a V. Right, because they don't want to sack a VMAX. 150 damage there. Okay, we do find a switch. So I'm probably going in and trying to take the knockout. Ugh. Do I want to switch? Maybe not. The switch would have been better like after the research. I think, I mean, even switching to like a fresh Alcremie feels like a bad idea. I feel like we just take it out with the active. Yeah, that's fine. I think so. Got a couple more energy out. At this point, we just want that VMAX really. And we'll accelerate a few more energy into play. Okay. There's 2. We really want the 3rd. We do not find the 3rd. So I can attach to the active. I guess I can retreat the active. Yeah, did we decide that that might be a bad idea? 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, yeah, 22. There's no Jirachi in play, so it's probably okay. Like, we're taking the knockout. And I get to keep some energy as well, which I think feels good, right? Let's check the deck real quick. Quick ball. There's Energy Recycler, there's Shadow Rider VMAX, 2 boss, 1 energy. Okay. Get this guy. Not gonna bench this. It like could be worth it to bench this. I don't really think so. Kind of more of a liability. So yeah, we're just gonna max geese. There's a Shadow Rider, an Evolution Incense, so I can get this guy out. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can get 11 energy into play next turn. It's possible, right? I'd have to find my Energy Recycler, but it's doable. And if I get 11 energy into play, then I can 1-hit KO a VMAX. Like, my opponent has to bring a VMAX into play next turn, right? So let's see what they can do. I got the VMAX. They can't hit my Alcremie yet. If they hit my active, so like, what's the route? I mean, can they do it? They can do it, right? Because if they hit this Shadow Rider, then they can. No, because I could just knock out, but I need to find a switch, right? I have 2 switch in the discard pile, and my Air Balloon's down. So I only have 1 switch left, so I have to check and see that my switch is still in the deck. If the switch is in the deck, I can switch to this Alcremie VMAX and easily 1-hit KO this thing, in which case my opponent will not have the opportunity to win the game the following turn. So let's see. There's a couple routes that I have. a couple routes. I could find a switch to take the knockout with Alcremie, or I could find 4 energies to get 11 energies into play and take the KO with Shadow Rider Calyrex VMAX. Now, there is no other attacker built up, so my opponent is banking on the fact, and this thing does have a retreat cost of 2, so it is possible that I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? I can take the knockout with Alcremie if I have to hard retreat it. If I have to hard retreat that thing, I still take the knockout. So I think that that we just have it wrapped up pretty much no matter what. I don't want to say that, but okay, we see that they pass. They obviously don't want to just, you know, sack the VMAX, so they have to try and like shake and bake a little bit here. We'll gladly get rid of the stadium. Evolution Incense to check the deck. I've got bosses, Energy Recycler, no switch. So at this point, I have to take 6 prizes. They can't possibly take 6 prizes next turn. It's not remotely possible. Underworld Door. Okay, we do find boss. So I think we just boss knock out Jirachi, and then that should just be game, because if they bring that thing into the active position, then it will just get knocked out, I think. So we'll do that. Max Geist, and then that should be it, right? Should be, I think. Because, right, like what can they do now? I've got 2 prizes left. Find another boss. We bring up Crobat, knock it out. And that's going to be GG's Corcho. And no other plays, unfortunately. I think that, like I said, I think the Shadow Rider does have a favorable matchup over this deck, of course, but it was certainly a closer matchup than I thought it was going to be. There are some things that can go wrong, and if you kind of stumble, you know, the sniping potential of that deck is really insane, and the fact that they only have to knock out 2 VMAXs, right? They only have to knock out 2 VMAXs just makes it incredibly intimidating, right? GG's Corcho, GG's, and thanks for throwing some more games with me, Corcho. It really helped me to kind of get an idea. That matchup, I think, is a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. This deck has been an absolute blast to play so far, and I'm really having fun tinkering with the list and figuring out the best way to play it. Thank you so much for watching the video. Make sure to check out FulgurCodes.com for instant PTCGO code delivery for all the best Pokemon trading card game online codes. And of course, supporting the shop at Fulgur Codes directly supports the content I create here on Tricky Jim. Y'all have a busted day. Peace.